So there are two papers in ORE. There are two papers in the ORE exam. Okay. And guys, just 1 second. So ORE has two papers, paper A and paper B. Now, please listen to this carefully, okay? Or maybe just write it down somewhere because a lot of students ask this in the April exam and the August exam that happened. Paper A is basic. What is basic subjects? Can anybody give me any examples of basic subjects? What do you think are basic subjects from the subjects you have done in BDS? Yes, so anatomy, physiology, dental histo, pharmac, sedation. So if you check out your courses, you already have a course called Basic Subjects Full Course, right? All those basic subjects are going to appear in your part A paper. Okay. Clinical subjects are the final year BDS subjects like perio, prostho, pedo, radio, oral surgery, all clinical applied subjects. And for that, you have a separate course under your Plan ORE courses called the Clinical Subjects Full Course. So we have already divided it in that way. So remember that these are the two main papers, but that doesn't mean that they will ask general medicine only in part A. They may ask a little bit in part B also. It doesn't mean that they will ask oral medicine only in part B or prosto only in part B. They may ask a few questions in part A. So what I or what other tutors in the planwari tell the students is you prepare part A and part B, but it is not like part A is part A. There may be some overlapping in part B and there may be some overlapping of part B in part A. Okay. So remember that is one. There are no fixed subjects. I already told you which subjects are, but overlapping may always be there. Every paper has 200 questions. Okay. So part A has 200 and part B has 200. And every question carries one correct mark. So if you get the answer correct, you get 1 mark. If you get it, if you don't get the answer correct, you get a 0 mark. There is no negative marking. So try and solve all the questions in the paper. Okay. Every paper is 3 hours. So part A will be 3 hours on one day, and part B will be 3 hours on the other day. Okay. And they happen in two batches. Okay. So, for example, usually these exams start on a Tuesday. I'm only talking about the part ORE one, okay, not the LDS one. So, you have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And they divide so they take 200 students intake. They divide those 200 students into 100 and 100. They make two batches. So, the first 100 students give their exam on Tuesday and Wednesday, and the second 100 students give their exam on Thursday and Friday. Okay. So the first batch will have part A on Tuesday and part B on Wednesday, and the batch 2 will have part A on Thursday and part B on Friday. Okay. Now, what is the exam pattern? The exam pattern, there are two different types of questions, EMQs and MCQs. So what is MCQ? Can anybody tell me what an MCQ is? Can anybody tell me what MCQ is? Yes. So you have a multiple choice and you have four or maybe five options and you have to choose one. Okay. To give you an example, this is not a dental example. This is just a example to give you how it will happen. So, you will have a question like this. Can you see the question on the screen? All of you? So you will have a question like the sun rises from which direction? Is it north, south, east, or west? And you will be choosing say east, so you will click on east. Okay. How to use the software and all for the exam people will tell you, don't worry so much. They are really very good. Before the exam starts, they will tell you how to click the correct answer, how to go back, how to finish the paper, everything they'll tell you, and it is really very easy. I'm sure all of you use phones and laptops on everyday basis, so I don't think it should be an issue. Secondly, in the Planwari account, you already have online questions. Okay. We have used a very similar software, not the exact software. We have used a similar software. So you will get an idea on how questions are asked in the exam. So this is a example of a multiple choice. That is, you have some choices, usually 4 or 5, and you have to choose one. The second uh, pattern is EMQ. So anybody can tell me the full form of EMQ? Yes, so it is extended multiple questions. Now, a lot of students get confused on extended multiple questions. Now, how does this happen? Extended multiple questions means they choose a topic. Okay, so say if they choose a topic of, say, in physiology, they choose a topic of, say, cardiovascular system. Okay, so you will have 10 questions on cardiovascular system. Say you will have 10 questions on the anatomy of heart, the physiology of heart, electrocardiogram, whatever they feel like. Okay, so you will have like 10 questions. Okay, just I'm just making it easier for you by writing it down on the board, and you will have 10 answers or maybe even more. Okay, you may even have more answers. So you may have about 5 questions, 10 questions, it depends on them, and you will also have a big list of answers. Okay, so say they decide to keep 10 questions and 10 answers. This may vary. Okay, this cannot be exact. It depends on the examiner. It may be 5 questions and 10 answers, 10 questions and 20 answers, 10 questions and 10 answers. So this may vary. So what you have to do for every correct question, you again have to pick the correct answer from the answer box. Okay, so say your question number 1 is answer 2. Just giving an example. Your question number 2 is answer 4, and so on. So basically, it's like matching two columns. Okay. Again, for every correct question, you get a correct mark, 1 mark. So this basically MCQ is of 10 marks. Okay. So if you get 5 correct and 5 wrong, you get 5 marks. Getting the point? So it is all, this is also similar to multiple choice only, but here all the questions are connected to each other. So there's more confusion, right? So it is more difficult to choose. And secondly, you have a long list of options. Here you just had 4 options, so it is easier. Here you have 10 options, maybe more, makes it more difficult. So extended multiple choice may be a little more tricky. Both these types of questions are present in the Planoary question bank. Okay, so again you will get an idea on how they are. So this is the basic exam pattern. Now to pass, you have to get 50% in each paper. Even if you pass in one paper and fail in the other, unfortunately overall you fail. So you have to make sure that you pass in part A, you get 100 marks out of 200, that is 50%. And in part B also you get 100 marks, that is 50% or more. Only when you get 100 and 100 in both, you pass. Okay. Is it easy to pass? I would say it is not difficult. Part 1 is a relatively easier exam than part 2. But if you have not made it, some students have passed, failed in part 1, and that's completely all right. Okay, there's nothing to get demotivated or anything. It is just an exam. Take it as an exam. Don't worry so much. I know it costs a lot of money, and it's very easy for me to sit on the other side of the table and say, "Don't worry." But it won't. You don't have to worry in the long run. Okay. So make sure that yes, two questions can have an answer, one answer in EMQ. That's a very good question, Sonal. I'll just get back to that once I finish this. So, I would say you have a good pass rate in ORE exams, part 1 exams, a very good pass rate. But you have to do a lot of hard work, okay? You will have to at least study for 4 months vigorously. So, study for 4 months vigorously or study slowly for 8 months, 9 months, depending on your priorities. Okay. Okay, talking about Sonal's question. So, yes, like she said, can two questions have the same answer? So, yes, say like question 3 and question 6. For both, you think answer 7 is the right one. Can that be possible? Yes, then that can be possible. Okay. So they will tell you guys, they will tell you that the same option can be repeated for two questions or more than that. They will tell you in the question on the top, when they give you a question on the top, they will tell you that the same answer can be chosen multiple number of times. So if they can, then yes. If they tell you the same answer cannot be chosen, then you cannot. So they will be very very specific about their questions. In UK exams, one thing is there, that they are very specific about rules and regulations.